Hello, dear. Sorry. Hello, dear students of English 4. Hello, people. Good afternoon. Welcome to this your Zoom meeting number 12 of the class. This is actually the last Zoom meeting because next session you're gonna have your final exam. So it means that we're not going to have a Zoom meeting. However, this is our final interaction with you. Okay, so we're gonna try to cover all the session as soon as possible, and we're going to take advantage of the time. Okay, so today we're gonna be based on a session 12 unit. Okay, okay, a second, please. Okay, session 12, unit 16, a change for the better. That is the unit and the name, that is the title of the unit. And we're gonna take a quick look at the video tutorial for this very particular session of the class. And then we're gonna be working on, okay?
Hello everyone, this is another class of our class English 4. The topic that we're going to discuss here is future using the present continuous. So generally we use the present continuous tense to talk about action taking place now or around now. But sometimes we can use the present continuous or present progressive to talk about pre-arranged plans or events. However, in order to do this, we have to use time reference phrases. For example, tomorrow morning, on Sunday, next Sunday, and so on, right? Let's see some example here. For example, Nick is spending time with his family tonight. So if you see here, we have the present continuous is, the auxiliary is, the verb spend, and ending in ing, right? Okay, but however here we can see the time reference that this word show the future form here, or the future timetable here. Let's see another example. Okay, we are meeting at 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock, right? And it's a reference that talk about something that a specific hour in the afternoon, right? So we are meeting here. Is the present continuous here. Okay. Another topic that we are going to discuss here is given reason with infinitive. What is an infinitive? Well, an infinitive verb is essentially the base form of a verb with the word to in front of it. When you use an infinitive verb, the to is part of the verb. Remember that this is not acting as a preposition. To is not working as a preposition in this case. Okay. And here something that we have to talk about is that the infinitive can be used as the direct object or as an indirect object. The most common way to use the infinitive here, right? Is an example. To hold the job was what the manager promised. To hold is working as a direct object. right, as a subject. Shane asked to have another hamburger. In this case, it's working as an indirect object here, right? It's working as this object of a preposition, or as an object of a verb here, right? So that's it very much.
Okay, thank you very much for having taken the time and watching this video tutorial. Today we're going to be talking about infinitive, in this case, given reasons with infinitive. This is basic English grammar for you to enhance your vocabulary. Okay, when talking about given reasons using an infinitive, it's just when you want to express an action, in this case, that you are performing something in a specific. For example, to work with you will be a great idea. However, to speak French in front of the public, it's very challenging. That will be another example. And do you know the difference between an infinitive verb and a base verb? Do you know when and how to use infinitive verbs? Learn the answers to these questions with the definitions and examples of infinitive verbs. Defining an infinitive verb. An infinitive verb is essentially the base form of a verb with the word to in front of it. When you are when you use an infinitive verb, the preposition to is part of the verb. It is not acting as a preposition in this case. So it's not a preposition. Some examples of infinitive verbs include to be, to have, to hold, to sleep, to spend. Infinitives are never conjugated with ed or ing at the end because they are not used as verbs in a sentence. They are one of the three types of verbal, which are verbs used as an adjective noun or adverb, or adverb. In this case, which are verbs using adjective, noun, or adverb. The other verbals are gerunds and participles. Infinitive verb versus based verb. In this case, infinitives include the basic unconjugated form of a verb, but they don't function the same way. The most basic form of a verb is the base form. The base form is just the verb without the to. You'll see verbs in their basic forms in the dictionary, but not in reading sentences that require conjugation. Base forms of verbs include be, have, hold, sleep, spend. Okay, using an infinitive verb in this case. This is grammar, guys, so please pay attention a lot to this. When talking about using an infinitive, you can use infinitive in several ways because they function as nouns, adjectives, adverbs. They can appear almost anywhere. Now that you can spot an infinitive, take a look at the various ways they pop up in the English language. Object of a sentence. The most common way to use infinitive verbs is as a direct object or an indirect object. When the subject performs an action, the infinitive can answer to the infinitive can answer the question what as the object of that action. Example of the above infinitives used as a direct include, I want to be an astronaut. Shane asked to have another hamburger. The manager promised to hold the job for me. Try to sleep a little more before our flight. Chuck hopes to spend less than $30 on his haircut. Okay, after adjectives, guys, in this case, you can use infinitive After adjectives to clarify meaning, adjectives that include the word to or enough require infinitives to fill in the rest of the meaning. For example, it's too hard to be an astronaut. Shame is too full to have another hamburger. The manager, it's nice to hold the job for me. It's smart to sleep before our flight. Chuck is wealthy enough to spend $30 $30 on his haircut. Subject of a sentence. Infinitives do appear as the subject of a sentence from time to time. One of the most famous examples of an infinity as the subject of a sentence is Hamlet's immortal phrase, to be or not to be, from Shakespeare Hamlet. You might see infinitives appear in sentences like this: to be an astronaut is my dream. To have an hamburger was what Shane wanted. To hold the job was what the manager promised. To sleep before the flight, it's a good idea. To spend $30 on a haircut, it's out of the question. Even though they are grammatically correct, these sentences sound a bit awkward. You're better off changing these subjects to gerunds, which are ing words that function as a noun. Example, being an astronaut is my dream, or sleeping before the flight, it's a good idea. Okay, now let's take a quick look at this video tutorial of the usages of given reasons with infinitive verbs.
I'm showing you part of a sentence, and then at Hello, my name is Emma, and in today's video, I am going to teach you a simple grammar point, and that is how we can use infinitives to give a reason for something. Okay, so in this video, I'm going to teach you what an infinitive is and how we use it in this way. So let's get started. So, like I said, we use an infinitive verb to say why someone does something. So let's look at some examples. I took a shower. Why? To relax. I worked. Why? What's the reason? I worked to make money. Okay? So what I'm doing here is I'm showing you part of a sentence, and then at the end is an infinitive verb that shows the reason why. So an infinitive is when you have the preposition to plus the base verb. So what's the base verb? It means it's a verb that's not conjugated. It's not in any tense. So for example, to be is an infinitive verb. Are, is, was, those are not the infinitive verb. To be is the infinitive verb. I have some other examples here. To eat, to make, to do. So an infinitive verb is the verb before you conjugate it. And again, it has that preposition to. So I want you to tell me, what is the infinitive verb in our first example? I took a shower to relax. So the infinitive verb is to relax. What about in our second example? I worked to make money. If you said to make is the infinitive, you're correct. I know I put a box around it, so it might seem a little simple, but those are examples of infinitive verbs. So again, we use infinitive verbs to give the reason why we do something. So now let's look at some more examples. Okay, so let's look at another example. She came. Why did she come? Well, one example might be, she came to dance. She came to see friends. She came to meet people. So notice we have to, which is the preposition of an infinitive, and then we have the verb. So in this case, we can add meet. Can you think of an example using a verb to answer why she came? I know there's not a lot of information, so there's a lot of different answers you could say. Let's look at some other examples. I want you to think about the reason. Why do you go to the library? Some people might say, you go to the library to read. Now I want you to think, what part of this sentence is the infinitive? That is the part that is also giving the reason. Well, we have here the preposition to and the base verb read. So to read is the infinitive. And that's also the reason why we go to the library. Now I want you to think about the cinema. Why do you go to the cinema? What's the reason? You go to the cinema maybe to watch movies. So what part is the infinitive verb in this? So again, we have the preposition to and the base verb, which is watch. This is the infinitive. You go to the cinema to watch movies. Let's look at another example. Why do you go to the gym? Some of you might say, you go to the gym to work out or to get strong. What's another reason why you might go to the gym? Maybe to check people out. I don't know. There's a lot of reasons why you might go to the gym. Maybe you want to train. Okay, so this is just one example. You go to the gym, and what part is the infinitive? Well, again, you need the preposition to. In this case, workout is the verb. Okay, now I want you to imagine this. Your grandmother or grandfather or somebody you know has never used the internet before, and they want to know more about the internet. And so they ask you, why do you use YouTube? What can you tell them? Well, one example might be, you use YouTube to, so we have the infinitive, maybe study English. I use YouTube to watch cat videos. Okay, I use YouTube to watch old TV shows. So you can think about the reasons why you do something. And again, you use the preposition to and the base verb. What about Tinder? I don't know if people are still using Tinder, but if they are, if you know what Tinder is, why would you use Tinder? You use Tinder to meet people, maybe. Maybe you use Tinder to find a girlfriend or a boyfriend. Maybe you use Tinder to hook up with people. So again, this is giving the reason why you do something. Why do you go to university? You go to university to learn. Why do you go to a restaurant? You go to a restaurant to eat good food. So these are just some more examples of the infinitive. Now let's learn about a way to use this in a more formal sentence. So sometimes we might want to make our English more formal. So we might want to do this if we're writing an essay for university or if we're doing a presentation at work. So more formal is when you use more serious English. So how can we explain a reason by using more serious English? Well, we can use the expression in order to. It's similar to what we've just been doing, but again, this is the more formal way. So let's look at some examples. People use Invid in order to learn for free. So if you look at this example, we still have our infinitive verb. Can you tell me what the infinitive verb is in this? To learn. Okay, so we have our preposition to here, and then we have the base verb learn. Before we have to learn, we have the words in order. So this again is giving a reason. We could also say people use Invid to learn for free if we didn't want to use this, but to make it more formal, we can add the words in order before. What's another example of this? Maybe people drink water in order to be less thirsty.
Thank you very much, guys, for watching this video tutorial. Also in here, burned infinitives. Okay, warned. Okay, a bare infinity is an infinity without two. It is not the same thing as base burn. Bare infinitives are still used as verbal in a sentence. You're most likely to see bare infinitives with modal verbs would, could, can, should, will, may, might, up to, shall, and others. I could be an astronaut. Chan might have another hamburger. Can the manager hold the job for me? You should sleep a little more before our flight. Sean won't spend more than 30 on his haircut. You'll also see verb infinities after other verbs such as let, hear, feel, may, see, need, help, watch, smell, or any other verb that indicates at per section. It also follows the word better in English as you better ask permission instead of you better to ask permission. Also, we have another video tutorial, what are infinitives? And at the end, you will have an evaluated exercise.
Hey guys, I'm Kerry. In this video, you'll be learning about the infinitive. An infinitive is a verb form that can be used as a noun, an adjective, or an adverb. Most infinitives begin with to. Infinitives used as nouns. For example, to fly was an ambition of humans for many centuries. To fly is the subject of was. Some fishes must swim constantly or they start to sink. To sink is the direct object of start. Your disgrace! You may look like a bride, but you will never bring your family honor. Rose's dream is to act. To act is the predicate nominative, identifying the subject, dream. Infinitives used as adjectives. His attempt to win was a failure. To win is an adjective modifying the noun attempt. The one to ask is your plumber. To ask is an adjective modifying the pronoun one. Infinitives used as adverbs. With his dog Wolf, Rip Van Winkle went into the woods to hunt. To hunt is an adverb modifying the verb went. Everyone in the neighborhood was willing to help. To help is an adverb modifying the adjective willing. To find out if an infinitive is a noun, replace the infinitive with what? For example,